Welcome back. And for tonight's KX conversation, we welcome back Republican Senator Kevin Cramer. Thanks for joining us from Washington.
My pleasure. Good to be with you guys.
Senator, the Biden administration is considering flying migrants who cross the South Texas border to states near the Canadian border for processing. Now, theoretically, that could include North Dakota.
Well, it certainly could, and I'm grateful that they've decided not to, as we are talking now. That was an idea that they floated. It's not a new idea. When I was in the House and during the Obama years, they had actually identified the Grand Forks Air Force Base as an appropriate place to bring, if you can imagine, unaccompanied children from the border, the southern border to the northern border for processing and for holding. And I immediately sent a letter and was visited by folks from the State Department, the Department of Defense, and the White House. We talked about it, and I said, do you realize how far it is? Do you realize how cold it is? Do you realize these kids have already walked a long ways across an entire country, and they're from a southern hemisphere and a military base, maybe not the most conducive? And they backed off after that conversation. This time, it didn't take nearly that long. When I heard about it or we read about it, I made an inquiry right away, and they quickly corrected it and said, no, we've decided against that. So I'm grateful for that.
And do you know exactly why they decided against it?
You know, I think they were given a menu of options probably, and this one just didn't quite make the cut. I think the pushback was rather rapid and probably fairly aggressive. But I think that, the most important thing is that they made the right decision, Lauren, and I'm glad they did.
Now, you said bringing these migrants to states like ours would endanger our communities. Is there evidence that the processing of migrants is in fact dangerous?
Well, I don't know that endangering the communities by the processing is so much the issue as much as it is what follows. Oftentimes are some of the elements, if you will, that got them here. In some cases, those are human traffickers. In some cases, the coyotes. In some cases, it leads to chain migration. That's one of the reasons, one of the ways people get here, send their children here seeking asylum. Then when they get into the country, the parents and the grandparents and the aunts and uncles and sisters and brothers all become eligible. And so it really, in that sense, what it does is it's not just a matter of a few people. It becomes a lot of people. It becomes a strain on law enforcement, a strain on education, healthcare, and it's something we're not equipped for, quite honestly. And but by the same token, neither are a number of the communities along the southern border, which is why it's become such.
And really quick, Senator, I want to get to this question: what is the best way to handle this surge in migrant activity at the southern border?
Well, the first thing would be to shut it off, and the way to shut it off is go back to the previous administration's policies of remain in Mexico policy, reinstate or get rid of the catch and release, and then re-engage the Central American countries and have an agreement with them as well, so that you're processing asylum seekers in Central America, so they don't make the long walk across first. That'd be the first thing. And the second thing is, get back to rebuilding or to building up the wall. They're paying for it anyway. They should at least continue with the contracts that they have. So this can be dealt with in a much more humane and much more reasonable manner than it's being dealt with now.
Senator Kevin Cramer, thank you very much.
Thank you.